Gunnar Faust. This is my persuasive speech. Today's date is November 12th, 2017, and this is my audience. Technology is everywhere, and today's children are exposed to entirely too much of it. Too much time in front of a screen increases a child's risk for obesity, negatively affects a child's social skills, and causes them to develop poor sleeping patterns. In an article published by Laraz Margalit titled Tykes and Tablets, Is Too Much Screen Time Damaging Your Child's Brain? In March 2016, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, it's estimated that children in the U.S. alone spend around 7 hours a day in front of a type of technology. Today, I will tell you about how children can become obese, develop poor sleeping habits, and negatively affect their social skills from using too much technology on a daily basis. According to Elle Paula, in an article she published titled Obesity in Children and Technology in August 2017, for every 100 children and teenagers, around 30 of them are considered overweight or obese. Not all of them are obese because of technology, but it is a huge contributing factor, especially in young people. Commercials and advertisements during children's programs are specifically aimed at children, and they'll advertise the newest kids meal at McDonald's or Burger King, and these commercials will increase the begging factor. And the begging factor is when kids literally beg their parents to get them this item they want so badly until the parents cave in. And then that's when it causes the parents to give them these unhealthy foods. According to an article published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology by Beth Castile in March 2014, children who spend copious amounts of time in front of a screen are more prone to snack on unhealthy foods, and specifically when playing video games. For my visual aid, it is an Xbox controller, and when you're playing a game, it requires the use of both hands. So if you have a food that you have to use a fork or a spoon with, you're not going to want to eat that while you're playing a video game. You want to have a bag of chips that you can just easily grab into and eat. And while you're still playing your video game, you don't have to keep pausing the game. If children were to snack on any kind of food when they're playing video games, they need to snack on the healthier choices such as fruits and vegetables, like an apple or some celery. According to an article titled How Technology Impacts Child Development by Dhruv and Patel, children who are spending too much time in front of a screen are not getting nearly enough exercise. Most children are allotted only a short amount of time a day at school for recess, and that's only 5 days a week if they go the whole week. And that is given that they go to public school. If they're at home school, then they're probably not getting that recess or that physical education that they need, even more than the children who are going to public school. And diet is in fact not the only factor influencing a child's health, but exercise is a huge part of it as well. Children's social skills are being affected by their overuse of technology. Children who are overusing technology are not spending enough time interacting with others. And because they're not interacting with others enough, they can often miss certain social cues. And much deeper than that, children who have difficulty developing real relationships with others. Social media is a huge part of the way we communicate in today's society. Social media can often cause children to lack self-confidence. Children and teenagers in today's society are known to be quite cruel, and it gets even worse online. If someone is overusing social media and is constantly receiving hateful comments, their self-esteem is going to be little to none. And aside from cyberbullying, social media prevents people from developing, again, these real relationships in more ways than it creates them. My third and final reason too much technology is harmful is because children who overuse technology are often disrupting their sleep patterns. A lot of children are using technology right up until they go to sleep, and they often play until they're finished. So if they're playing a video game, they're going to play until they finish that level or they finish the game completely, or they're going to finish that movie or the TV episode, and they'll often go on to the next episode, which then prevents them from sleeping. According to Sarah Lauren, in an article titled Why Screen Time Before Bed is Bad for Children in October 2017, exciting video games, shows, or movies cause your adrenal glands to release epinephrine, which then raises the body's adrenaline levels, ultimately making it harder for anyone to fall asleep. Children are also less likely to fall asleep after watching a horror movie or playing a violent video game because of that adrenaline increase. Sleep patterns are a vital part of a child's development. Changing sleep patterns only disrupts a developing brain, and bright lights from a device can cause one to become more alert, therefore disrupting natural sleep patterns. And melatonin is the hormone that regulates sleep patterns, and if a child throws that hormone off its path, they won't get the proper amount of sleep that they need. And sleep deprivation is not only dangerous, but is especially dangerous for a child that is still developing. Today, I told you about how children can become obese, develop poor sleep habits, and negatively affect their social skills from using too much technology. When I was a child, I loved horror movies. I would watch them alone, mostly, because no one ever wanted to watch them with me because no one really liked scary movies that I know. So when I was alone, then I got even more scared than I was actually supposed to be, because they're movies, they're not real. Nothing really can happen from a horror movie in real life. And so from that, I developed a deathly fear of the dark. I never would want to walk alone in the dark, never wanted to be in the dark, even in a house. And so I never wanted to go to sleep at night because it was too dark. And so I would often just stay hidden under my covers and would never fall asleep. So this messed up my sleep cycles greatly because I was staying awake and then I was not getting enough sleep because I had to wake up early the next morning. So all of this stemmed from me watching too many horror movies before bed, and I could have prevented every single bit of it if I would have just regulated when and how many horror movies I watched.